This conference will now be recorded.
Same thing, bank reconciliation statement. In this, today let's talk about accounting entries. Accounting entries in BRS. Okay, when we talk about BRS accounting entries, you have two type of entries here. One is direct posting, the other one is clearing entries. First, let me put direct entries. Second one, clearing entries. Any idea what is direct entry, what is clearing entry? Anyone?
Direct entry will be posted to GL account.
Those who are not talking, be on mute. Where it is. Okay. Yeah. What is direct entry? What is clearing entry? Any idea? Anyone?
That invoice entry is called direct entry, and after we made the payment, we receive the bank statement. After that, we clear. No, that is clearing entry.
Okay. So when you talk about a direct entry, here we will input debit and credit. When you talk about a direct entry, you will input debit and credit, or you will write what account to be debited, what account to be credited. That is your direct entry, which has got no connection with any of the existing entry. When you talk about clearing entry, here we will input debit or credit only one side, the other side is an existing entry. Okay, in the clearing entry, what will happen? Either you put debit or you put credit only. If you put debit, credit side is an existing entry. On the other side, if you put credit, debit side will be an existing entry. These are called as your clearing entries. Now, to understand what is clearing entry, what I'll do, I'll show you two document postings manually. I'll take any one GL account, DEIN. What I'll do, let me use this GL account, tax payable, or simply I'll use outstanding wages. Let me use this outstanding wages account. If I run this GL report, FIGLL03, I'll pass this GL account, open item as on today. What is the account balance? 100. Correct? In this account, the current balance is 100. Let me pass one entry into this account. To pass any one entry, I'll either use F-02, FB01, FB50. Whatever the transaction I am using, notice what I am going to input in this. I'll use current account. Here I'll put direct entry as reference and header text. Posting key 40, let me take any one. Expense account. I'll take some 300. Cost center. Let me put the text also direct entry. Now I'll put credit. If you see, I have already given posting key 40, which means I am giving debit side. At the same time, I am giving the credit side by inputting posting key 50. Here I'll put this GL account 253 5 times 0. 253 5 times 0. I'll take the same amount. Profit center, direct entry. Let me do a simulation. If you see this simulation, in this entry there is one debit, there is one credit. Is this debit and credit given by me, or I have given only one side? What
Both
I
are
did,
given by you.
debit side and credit side of this document is given by me. Now, whenever you give debit and credit together manually, those are called your direct entries. Let me pass this entry. When I pass this entry, how much should be this outstanding wages balance? Currently, it is 100 credit balance. If you look at this entry, outstanding wages is credited for another 300. 300 credit balance plus 100 credit balance will become 400 credit balance. Agree?
Yes, sir.
After
Yes, sir.
passing this entry, my account balance should become 400. Correct the customizing settings. Let me simulate general ledger. Expert mode. Currency configuration. What is this? Somebody changed this group currency as SIR. We need to put that as dollar. So always make sure whenever you play with the group currency, let it be dollar only. Because group currency is at client level. If you change group currency, it's already dollar here. This is already dollar here. Then what is this talking about? Not this one. Let's open this one. Currency configuration is this, but the currency of the client is set to SAR. Change the configuration of controlling area. DEGR. This is dollar is correct. OK, KP. AJ01 display yes. DEGR. Here also it is $30 properly defined. Let us do it again if somebody has changed it now. F-02 direct entry. I'm directly putting this values now. Same thing, I'm just replicating again. Direct entry, posting key 50, outstanding wages, document simulate simulate general ledger. Let's go to expert mode. Now I think somebody has changed it just now. While we were posting, it was SAR, that is why it was not accepting. Let me come back. And we understood both debit and credit are given by us manually. We are calling it as direct entry. Now entry has been posted. Once this entry is posted, let's get back to the GL report. Currently this is 100. Let me go to list. Click on refresh. It should become 400. It has become 400. Now this is the direct entry that I have passed. Clear with what is direct entry? Where you are giving debit and credit from your side. Clear? Now when I talk about clearing entry, what I mention now or what I am going to do right now, currently the account has 400 balance. Out of 400, I am going to clear this 300. I am going to clear this 300. Now when you're talking about the clearing entry, you're talking about GL account which is managed open item basis. This is the GL account 253 all zeros. Let me open this GL master. If I open this GL master 253 all zeros, is this open item managed or not?
Yes, sir.
This
It
is
should be
open
open
item
item.
managed. Now, whenever you're talking about clearing entry or clearing transaction, clearing document, you're talking about posting to a open item managed GL account. These open item managed GL accounts are always balance sheet accounts. Your entry must hit to a balance sheet account. In that GL master data, you must have enabled this open item management checkbox. If this is enabled, that is where the clearing entry is possible. Point number one, you are not giving either debit or credit side. You are not going to give debit or credit side for the GL account which you are trying to do a clearing. For the clearing, you must have a GL account which is open item managed. Currently, I want to clear this outstanding wages. How I am clearing this outstanding wages is second side of the story. First side of the story is you must have a GL account which is open item managed. If you're talking about this clearing entry, this is straightforward. Understood this? Whenever you give debit side, whenever you give credit side from your side, that is straightforward direct entry. When you talk about clearing entry, you will have an open item managed GL account. You will have one open item managed GL account and you are focusing on that open item managed GL account only for clearing transaction. Currently, what I will do, I will look at this GL account 253 all zeros. If I look at this GL open transaction, if I look at this GL open transactions, I have two entries, one for 100 and the other one for 300. Now I want to perform clearing for this 300. When I do a clearing for 300, before I pass the entry, do I have existing 300 in the system or I am going to put 300 additionally in the system? If I talk about clearing entry, do I have 300 already available in the system or not?
It's already available in the
Yes, sir.
system.
Right, 300 is already available in the system. Now I wanted
Yes,
to
sir.
remove
We
this
have.
300. Right, now I wanted to remove this 300. Removing of this 300 is called as clearing entry, or removing of this 300 is called as GL clearing or account balance clearing. In short, clearing transaction or clearing entry. To perform the clearing entry, what we need to do? Currently, this account has a 300 debit balance or credit balance.
Credit balance.
Outstanding, it's a credit balance.
Right, this 300 is a credit balance. If I want to clear credit balance, what I need to put? If I put credit, will this credit get cleared or I need to put a debit to clear credit?
We have to
Debit
do
to put.
debit
I
Debit.
to
need to
clear
use
the
a
account.
debit. Right, I need to put a debit to clear this credit. In short, what I need to do, My intention is to clear this 300 credit balance from outstanding wages. To do that, I must use debit posting to the outstanding wages. Your offsetting should be what? I have to debit outstanding wages account. Then offsetting should be debit.
Outgoing bank account credit.
Alright. So this debit can be any account. There is no rule that you have to use bank account or any other account. I may be clearing this 300 for n number of reasons. I may be making payment, or I may be doing a transfer from this account to the other account, or any other reason. Depending on the purpose, I might use any offsetting account. There is no fixed rule that you have to use this offsetting account. You can use any offsetting account, but you need to ensure the GL in which you are trying to do the clearing must be properly utilized. In order to clear this account, we must pass a debit to this account. Correct? Outstanding wages account must be debited to clear this 300. Am I correct?
Yes, Ajay.
Now I will pass this entry, but nowhere I will mention the posting key debit. Now look at the what entry I am going to pass. I will clear this 300, but I don't use any posting key called debit. In any form, I am not going to use posting key. Now to do the clearing, there are different ways. What I am going to use, I am going to use post with clearing. What is this screen?
Post with clearing.
F-04 or FB05 post with clearing. When you do BRS, system is going to use this transaction in the background. When we perform a BRS, system is going to use post with clearing in the background to pass the BRS entries. Now I want to clear it today. I'll put today's date. Here I'll put clearing entry. Here I am putting clearing entry. Now you have transaction to be processed. There are 4 radio buttons: outgoing payment, incoming payment, credit memo, transfer posting with clearing. There is no impact with these radio buttons. Depending on the nature of a transaction that you are posting, you can pick the appropriate radio button, but nothing is going to happen, no impact with this radio button. Whether you select this one, or any of these, there is no impact with us. It is only for the reference purpose. Based on the nature of a transaction, you can pick any one which is applicable to you. Currently, I am doing, let's say, payment or credit memo, transfer posting with clearing. Let me pick transfer posting with clearing. Let us look at the transaction that we are planning to do. We are planning to do a clearing from outstanding wages 300. Outstanding wages 300. Whenever you are trying to clear, always remember you have to use the posting key for the offsetting account. You have to use the posting key for offsetting account. If you want to clear outstanding wages account, ignore the outstanding wages. If you want to clear outstanding wages, ignore the outstanding wages. Outstanding wages is currently showing what balance, debit or credit?
Credit.
Credit.
Credit balance. Now outstanding wages will receive debit or credit in the posting?
Debit. Debit.
Outstanding posting will receive the debit. So which side is left over to complete the entry, debit or credit?
Credit
If you
side.
ignore the outstanding
Credit.
wages, credit side is missing. This is one point. If you're confused with this, second point, which is a blind thing, if your GL account has a credit balance, if you want to clear it, use the credit side in the posting. Use the credit side in posting. I want to clear outstanding expense for 300. This 300 has a credit, or in your layout itself, you can add the posting key. In your layout itself, you add posting key. This is 50. The other one, you can add debit credit indicator. Here it is H. H means credit, S means debit. This is credit. What I'll do, I'll put posting key 50 here. Sorry. F-04 clearing entry. Ignore these radio buttons, you can pick whatever you want. Nothing is going to happen with it. So I'm going to keep posting key 50. Now this 50 is what the GL account for the offsetting your outstanding wages. Let's say I want to move this account to, let me take any other GL account. Let's say this account I will use 253 all zeros 1. Clear? Enter. I'll put the same amount 300. I'll put clearing entry. For any clearing entry, you don't need to give the profit center. It will take the profit center based on the passive document splitting. I'm not giving any profit center here. I am giving 300. Now this 300 I am crediting to outstanding electricity bills. Now whatever I want to do, I want to clear this 300. Now this 300 is an existing transaction or a fresh transaction I want to add.
Existing transaction.
Right, my intention is not to add another 300 in this GL account. My intention is to remove an existing 300 from this account. Is this point clear? I do not want to add additional 300. Instead, I want to remove existing 300. Clear? Both are valid points, but the scenario, the requirement is different. Our requirement is not to pass a fresh 300. Our requirement is to remove the existing 300. For you to remove the existing 300, you need to select which one you want to clear. Agree? If I want to remove 300, I have to tell the system, please remove this 300. If I have to tell the system, I need to show the system where is the 300 that I want to remove. For that, you need to inform the system GL account from which you want to remove, and based on what it has to identify this 300. Now first let's understand this existing 300 is sitting in this GL account. Copy this GL account. After giving the offsetting account in your posting, either debit or credit, only one side. That is what we have given. We will input debit or credit, only one side. Here we have given only one side, which is only credit. Correct? We have given only credit side. Next thing, you need to click on choose open items on the top. Next one, you need to select choose open item. If you select this choose open item, it will give you a pop-up wherein it is asking you to select open item. You want to clear the transaction from DEIN company code from this account. What is this account? Is this a GL account, customer account, vendor account, or asset account? What is this account?
GL account.
It is a GL account. Down below, you need to select account type. If you open the drop down, it will give you the list. Asset, customer, vendor, material, GL. This is a GL account. You have to select S. After selecting this, right side you have additional selections. Right side you have additional selections. This is one of your interview questions. When you do a post with the clearing, on what basis system will identify the open items? Then you will have to mention these points. Out of these points, you will have to mention point number 1 assignment. Point number 1 assignment. Point number 2 reference. Point number 3 document. These three are most commonly used criteria or most commonly used parameters for performing any clearing. Reference, document number, and the assignment. These three are most commonly used parameters. The remainings we will be using, but very rare. Document number, reference, assignment are most commonly used things. Now, on what basis you want system to identify your open item? You have various options. This 300, you can either use document number, you can inform system from this GL account, clear the transaction which has this document number, or from this GL account, clear the transaction which contains document type SA. If I put a document type SA, system will identify both. System will identify both and it will pick the amount of 400, which will not match with the amount that you have given as 300. So instead what we will do, you will be proceeding with document number at the beginning. We will be proceeding with document number, for which let me copy this document number. I am copying this document number. I want system to clear open item in this GL account. GL account system will understand based on account number and account type. Right side, I want system to identify based on document number. Put the radio button on document number, press enter on the keyboard or click on process open item. You will get another screen wherein system is asking you to input, tell me the document number which you want to clear from this GL account. Put this document number. After giving this document number, click on process open item. When you click on process open item, system is going to take this GL account, and in this GL account it will display this document number. Let me click on process open item. Now it has shown one transaction 300. If you see this account items 253 all zeros, outstanding wages, only one item it is displaying. The item value is 300, amount that you have entered is 300. Amount that you have entered is 300. Now you have to understand these numbers. You have to understand these numbers. What I will do, I'll go to this option, document overview. While posting, what is the posting key you have given?
50.
50. 50 means debit or credit?
Credit.
Credit.
50 means credit. Let me click on process open item again. If you look at the amount entered, what is this amount? 300 or 300 minus a symbol?
Symbol.
300 negative. Alright, this is 300 credit balance. Now what is the amount assigned?
300 minus.
300 minus, which means you told the system to clear 300 credit. You told system that you are clearing 300 credit. That is what you have given as your input, debit or credit. We have given input of 300 credit by giving posting key 50, and for the extent of 300 credit you have to allot or you have to assign open items. Amount entered is always the amount that you have manually keyed in. Amount assigned is always the transactions that you are selecting for clearing. In this, I am going to clear this. If I double click on this, it will get deselected. Amount assigned is now 0. I have given 300 for clearing. Now I need to select open items for 300. This is my open item. I have entered 300 credit. I need to select 300 credit from here. Select 300 credit. Now if this is 300 credit, system will take this 300 credit as 300 debit. Clear? Here don't think that 300 minus and you will have 300 debit. It is always the same sign. If it is 300 credit, it will be 300 credit. Then the not assigned should be 0. You need to ensure not assigned should be 0. When you see this amount entered, amount assigned is equal, not assigned is 0, then you need to go top to the document, click on simulate. When you click on simulate, automatically it has brought outstanding wages on the debit side 40.
Yes.
Did I give 40 posting key anywhere?
No.
We did not give 40 posting key anywhere, but system has automatically detected the posting key for outstanding wages. This is called your clearing entry. This is your clearing entry. Let me post this entry. Now entry number 10139 is posted. After posting this entry, in this account, the current account balance is 40. After passing this clearing entry, how much should be the balance in this?
100
100.
credit.
Only 100, right? Because 300 is cleared. Let me do a refresh. Go to list on the top, click on refresh. If you click on refresh, this 300 is removed from this account. Correct? This 300 is removed from this
Yes.
account. Now, whatever the entry we passed now is called as clearing entry. Whatever we passed now is called as clearing entry. In clearing entry, how many posting keys we have given? 1 or 2?
Only one.
Only one.
In clearing entry, 1 posting
We
key
have
we
one.
have given. Now, in direct entry, we will give 2 posting keys, and in clearing entry, we will give 1 posting key. Are these 2 lines clear?
Yes, Ajay.
Clear, right? Now, let me write the accounting entries. Now, the reason why we have seen this, your BRS accounting entries are based on these 2 things. If you understand what is direct entry, if you understand what is clearing entry, how many posting keys you will give in direct entries, how many posting keys you will give in clearing entries. It is easy for you to understand accounting entries. It is easy for you to map accounting entries for BRS. Otherwise, we will end up getting confused. So to avoid these confusions, we are seeing these things at the beginning itself before getting into SAP. GL accounts used for BRS. Normally, what GL accounts we will be using for BRS? Let's try to understand what kind of a GL accounts we will be using for BRS purpose. Normally, we understood for every bank how many GL accounts are allotted.
10. 10.
Every GL account is allotted with 10 GL accounts. This 10 GL account sequence ranging from what to what? What is the first number? What is the last number? Sequence?
0 to 9.
0
It
to
is
9.
always
Last time.
0 to 9. Correct. This 0 to 9 is called as which concept? Which account concept?
Bank.
House
M-
bank
Which
card.
account
Masking.
concept?
Masking, sir.
What is that? What is that concept called? 0 is which account? 1 to 9 are what accounts?
0 is house bank.
Zero is the
0
Main
is
bank.
which
main
account?
bank. Main bank.
0 is main account. 1
Main
to 9
bank.
is
1 to 9 is outgoing and
Sub
sub
account.
main sub
sub
GL account.
accounts. In short, these are called as main account and sub account concept. You will be creating GL accounts 0 to 9, which is based on main account and sub account concept. Your main account is strictly ending with 0. Your sub account is starting from 1 to 9 at the last digit. Now, I will be writing bank main account. When I write bank main account, you should always understand bank main account always ends with 0, no matter what. In any project, in any client, in any company, it should always end with 0. Next one, you have bank let's say check incoming account, I'm only writing check in. Next one, you will have bank check outgoing account. Clear? If you receive the check, that will be check incoming account, in short check in. If you are issuing a check, that will be check out account. If you receive the check, check incoming. If you issue a check, check outgoing. Clear? Similarly, bank transfer in and bank transfer out. If you receive any payment via bank transfer, that will be bank transfer incoming, in short bank transfer in. On the other side, if you make any payment using bank transfer, that will be your bank transfer outgoing or bank transfer out. Clear? These four things.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next one, if you have any other mode of payment, let's say you have NEFT payment, RTGS payment, demand draft payment, you can put those type of payment accounts here. Let's say bank DD in, bank DD out, demand draft received, demand draft paid, something like that. If you have any other things, you can use it. But majoritarily, we will be using only two type of payments. One is check payment, the other one is bank transfer. In check, incoming outgoing two accounts. For transfer, incoming outgoing two accounts. The other one will be bank expenses related GL account. Next one will be bank incomes related GL account. These are the most commonly used GL accounts for every bank. There may be additional bank GL accounts like your taxes and other things, but if you know how you are mapping these things, you will be able to map any GL account for banking for BRS. Right? Now this bank main account is what account? Is this a balance sheet account or is this a P&L account?
Balance sheet.
Balance
Balance
sheet
sheet.
It's
account.
a balance sheet account.
Balance sheet.
This is a balance sheet account. Bank check incoming.
This is also balance sheet account.
Balance
Balance sheet.
This is also balance sheet account. Check outgoing.
This is also balance sheet
Balance
account.
sheet.
Balance sheet account. Transfer incoming.
Balance sheet.
Sheet account.
Balance sheet.
Balance sheet.
Transfer
Balance sheet.
transfer outgoing.
Balance sheet.
Balance sheet. Bank expenses.
P&L.
P&L.
It's a P&L. Bank income.
P&L.
It's a P&L. Now in balance sheet, what is this? Asset liability.
asset.
Asset.
Asset. This one.
Asset.
Asset.
This one. Check outgoing. Asset.
Liability.
Transfer incoming. Asset.
Asset.
Transfer outgoing also asset. This one P&L.
Expense.
Expense.
Expense. This one.
Income.
Income.
This is income. Now this is in balance sheet asset, open item, line item. Open item, non-open item.
Unopen item.
Non-open item, sir.
Non-open.
This is non-OIM, non-open item management. This one.
This is open item. Open item.
This is open item management. This one, check outgoing.
Open item management.
Open item management. Transfer incoming is open item management. Transfer outgoing is open item management. Now open item management or non-open item management is not applicable for P&L account. This is not applicable for P&L account. I'm not writing anything.
Yes.
Because open item or non-open item is applicable only for the balance sheet account. Now, when we talked about direct entries, when we talked about clearing entries, in the clearing entries we talked about we will input debit or credit only one side, the other side is an existing entry. When we talked about this, we posted one posting into this account. What is this account called? Is this open item managed account or non-open item managed account?
It is a open item management account. It is
Open
the
item.
outstanding account.
Right, this is open item managed account. Do you have open item managed accounts in your bank GL list?
Yes, Ajay.
Do we have open item managed bank accounts or we do not have?
Yes, we have.
We have. Always, if it is non-open item management, there is no point of clearing entry. Am I correct?
Yes.
If the account is non-open item management,
Non-open item.
clearing entry concept itself is ruled out. There is no possibility of using a clearing entry for non-open item management because clearing entry is exclusively for open item management GL accounts. Now, if you have open item management GL accounts, both are possible. Direct entry is possible, clearing entry is also possible. I'll put direct entry and clearing entry. Correct? In the open item management account, you will be passing direct entry. You will also be passing clearing entry. For all the open item management, you will be passing two type of entries, direct plus clearing. P&L account, it's always direct posting because whenever you post anything to a P&L account, you have to give a debit, you have to give a credit. In short, debit, credit, both you will give. But for the open item management, there are two possibilities, two options available. One is your direct posting, the other one is clearing entry. Now let me pass the basic accounting entries here. Clear with the GL accounts, the nature of account, nature of postings that we will be doing.
Yes, sir.
Next, what I'll do, accounting entries. These accounting entries, let's classify into two categories. First, I'll put original entry. First account that we have here is bank check incoming account. For bank check incoming account, normally check incoming you will receive from customer or check incoming you will give to vendor. What will happen with your check incoming? Is this
We
with
will
customer
receive
or with
from
vendor?
customer.
You will be
Receive
receiving
from
it from customer.
customer.
When you receive any payment from customer, what is the accounting entry?
Incoming account debit.
Customer debit,
Customer.
sales, credit.
When you receive the payment from customer,
Like a customer credit, bank
debit
debit.
what comes in?
No.
Bank incoming
Debit
account
what?
and
Incoming
will be
debit.
credit.
Incoming account debit and customer is credit.
Okay, let me put debit, let me put credit. Okay, whenever you are receiving something, you are always going to tell debit what comes in. When you are receiving the payment, what is coming in? Money is coming in. In what form you are receiving the money? In the bank form you are receiving the money. Agree? According to real accounting principle, debit what comes in? You are
What comes in?
receiving the
Credit
money.
what goes.
Right, you are receiving the money through bank. I am going to write debit bank check incoming. Clear? Now, according to personal account, debit the receiver, credit the giver. Who is giving you the amount? Your customer is giving you the amount. According to personal account, credit the giver. You are going to put credit to the customer. Is this entry clear?
Yes.
This is your initial entry for bank check incoming. Next account that we have is bank check outgoing. This is the next account that we have. When you are issuing a check, you are going to issue the check majoritarily to a supplier or to a vendor. When you are making the payment to a vendor or when you are issuing a check to the vendor, according to personal account, debit the receiver. Who is receiving the payment?
Vendor debit.
Vendor is receiving the payment. Now when you are making the payment, you are losing the money. Money is going out from you. According to real account, credit what goes out. Money is going out from you in the form of bank. And who is receiving? Vendor is receiving. According to personal account, debit the receiver. I'll put debit
Vendor account.
vendor and I'll put credit
Credit to bank check account.
bank check out. Is this entry clear? Clear? Two accounting entries.
Yes, sir.
Now, third one we have written bank transfer incoming. This bank transfer incoming is also same like your check incoming. If you understand check incoming, it is the same logic. The form of payment is different. One side you are receiving the payment using check, so you are debiting check account. On the other side you are receiving the payment using transfer, you will be debiting transfer account. Apart from this, there is no change. It's only the mode of payment. According to the mode of payment, you will have the respective GL account. If it is a check payment, check GL account. If it is a transfer payment, transfer GL account. What I'll put the same debit credit here. Except the mode of payment, there is no change in this. Here I'll put bank transfer incoming customer credit. Is this entry clear for bank transfer incoming? Alright. Now the fourth one, bank transfer outgoing. This is also same thing. If you understood what entry we have written for check outgoing, if you make the payment using check, same accounting entry. If you use the payment using transfer, same accounting entry. The mode of payment will determine the nature of GL account. If it is a check payment related GL account. If it is a transfer payment related GL account. In this case, we are using transfer outgoing. You will be passing the same accounting entry but with transfer GL account. So vendor will be the same who is receiving the payment. You are losing the money or money is going out from you in the form of bank transfer. Clear this entry? Are these four accounting entries clear now? Any confusion? Any doubt in these four accounting entries?
No, sir.
Clear, right? Okay. After this, you have bank
So this all
expenses.
accounts,
Sorry?
so this bank check in all sub accounts, right? What you are under these accounts?
Right. Correct. Sub accounts.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, these are called as your original entries. These are called as your original entries. When you talk about or when you call original entry, do you need bank statement to pass this entry or you need the business transaction to pass this entry?
Business transactions.
Right? These entries are dependent on business transaction. If you make the payment, you will pass the entry. If you receive the payment, you will pass the entry. To make the payment, to receive the payment, you do not need the bank statement. Agree? So that is why we call it as original entries or initial postings in the bank account. Now all the original entries are always posted in bank sub accounts. Always in sub accounts. Clear? Original entries are always in sub accounts. Next one, against every sub account there has to be a clearing entry or there has to be a corresponding main account. Here I'll put another entry. This I'll say BRS entry. In short, always in main accounts. Original entry is always posted in sub account. BRS entry is always posted in main account. In short, BRS entry is always transfer posting from sub account to main account. Correct? BRS entry is always a transfer posting from bank sub account to bank main account. Am I correct? Now, for the same check incoming, what will be the BRS entry?
Main bank account attached to bank account.
Main bank debit, bank check-in credit.
Right.
Bank checking.
Now, what you need to do, the simple logic, the simple rule that you need to remember is the bank main GL is always posted to the same side of bank sub GL posted in original entry. We have written bank main GL is always posted to the same side of bank sub GL posted in original entry. If you look at the original entry, where is bank sub GL posted? Debit or credit?
Debit.
It is posted on the debit side. In the BRS entry, your bank main GL will be posted in which account? Debit or credit? Which side?
Credit.
If the original entry has bank account on the debit side, your BRS entry will have bank main account on the debit side. Bank account will be replaced by bank main account. Now this account will take the other side, credit side, because it has to become 0. Now what I am going to do here is I am going to pass BRS entry debit credit. When I pass the BRS entry, initially you have received money in which account? Bank check incoming account. Ideally, when you receive the bank statement, you will be moving the amount from bank check incoming to the bank main account. You will be moving the amount from check incoming to main account. To move the amount to main account, to move the amount to the main account, you need to do a transfer posting from incoming to main account. Incoming to main account. Now, whenever you do a clearing, we already assumed if your original entry has a credit side, you will put the posting key credit only while passing the clearing entry. Correct? This is what we did. Now, if I want to clear this entry, this 100, if I want to this clear 100, while posting the entry, what posting key I need to take?
50. 50 posting key.
40.
If I want to clear this 100 from this GL account, which posting key I need to manually give? We know that we need to give only one posting
40.
key. Here I need to give posting key 50 or posting key 40.
50, sir.
50, sir. 50.
Why
Posting
50?
key,
Sir, 40, sir. Actually,
posting key
40, sir.
40 with bank main account.
40, sir.
actually, 50 is transferable. Transferable.
Now
40 with
what are
bank
we
main
trying to
account.
do? What are we
Yeah,
trying to do with this posting? We are trying to clear this.
don't
Agree?
agree. Yes, yes.
We are trying to clear this. When you are clearing this, currently there is a credit in this account. If you wanted to clear, this credit should become what? Debit,
Yes.
right? This credit should become debit. Now,
Debit.
whenever you are passing a clearing entry, you will always give posting key to the same account or to the offsetting account.
The same account.
Offsetting account.
You will give posting key to the same account or to the offsetting account.
Same account.
Offsetting.
Same account or offsetting account.
Same
Same
account.
offsetting account. Offsetting account. Other one automatically debit.
Offsetting account.
We will be using this to the offsetting account because you will be selecting this item to be cleared based on the open item selection. So what I'll do here, let me come back. Before you understand that clearing entry, you need to understand this entry. If you understand this entry, your BRS entry is automatically understood. The same thing is going to happen even if you do manual posting of BRS entry, or if you tell system to pass the automatic entry of BRS, the same thing that is going to happen on your screen will happen in the backend. I'll put this here. I need to give posting key 50. Why I am giving posting key 50? Because currently this account has posting key 50. I'll put posting key 50. For this posting key 50, I should give the same account or a different account.
Same account.
For posting key 50, I should give same account or different account here.
Different account.
Different account, sir.
It has to be a different account because currently this account has credit posting key 50. If I put posting key 50 again, which means I am again crediting, my amount will become double. But my intention is to double the amount or to remove the amount.
To reducing the amount.
To reduce the amount. To reduce the amount, this account should always receive the reverse posting. When you talk about reverse posting, if this account currently contains credit, reverse posting talks about debit. If this account currently contains debit, reverse posting talks about credit. Now the other side of this posting is always called as offsetting account. When you talk about offsetting account, if this is credit, offsetting will become debit. If this is debit, offsetting will become credit. This may sound a little tricky, a little confusing at the beginning, but this is what you have to make familiar with. You are not supposed to have any confusion as a consultant on the postings side. Strictly not allowed. If you tell you are confused with debit credit, offsetting, GL account, posting keys and all, you are strictly not supposed to have any confusion. In short, zero confusion in this area for a FICO consultant. If you are confused here, you will end up configuring the system incorrectly. Right? First, you need to understand how entry is being posted. Accordingly, you have to maintain the settings. If our understanding is not correct, our settings may be correct, may not be correct. Clear? Now your intention is to clear this account. Always check what is the account balance currently. Is this a debit balance or is this a credit balance? This account, this transaction, is it a debit balance or a credit balance?
This is credit balance.
This is credit balance. Now when you talk about an accounting entry, your accounting entry will have one debit, one credit. Agree?
Yes.
Your accounting entry will have one debit, one credit. Your clearing entry will have the same account either on the debit side or on the credit side. Am I correct?
Yes.
Your clearing entry will contain this same account either on the debit side or on the credit side. Now, if you are talking about clearing this GL account, outstanding wages. Outstanding wages is your account. Now, this outstanding wages, if it is on the debit side, offsetting will become credit side. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Let me write it here. Outstanding wages. If I put debit here, what is missing to complete the entry?
Credit.
Credit. This credit is called as offsetting account. Which account?
Offsetting.
Which account credit is called as offsetting account. On the other side, if I put outstanding wages on the credit side, what is missing?
Debit.
Debit is missing. What is this debit called? Again, offsetting account.
Offsetting. Yes.
Now, when you talk about offsetting account is not the name of account. Offsetting account means any account. In short, this is the opposite side of the account. If you're talking about outstanding wages, you can debit outstanding wages and I can credit any account on the credit side. Agree? There is no rule that I need to put account number 1 or account number 2. Yes or no? Is there any rule that you have to use only this account on the credit side? Or based on the transaction, I can use any GL account. Is there any rule that if I debit outstanding wages, this particular account I need to credit? Is there any such rule in accounting?
No.
There is no such rule. I can credit bank account, I can credit cash account, I can credit customer account, I can credit vendor account, I can credit asset account. It is my choice to credit any GL account or any customer account, any vendor account, any asset account, depending on the business transaction. Depending on the business transaction, I may be crediting any account. So since I have option to credit any account, I will not talk about that account name which will be credited. Instead, I will talk about offsetting account. Clear? Instead, you will talk about offsetting account. Now, this term offsetting you will be using, you will be hearing very frequently, in short, on a daily basis when you are working with your clients, when you are working with your users. And this offsetting account is not the name of the account. Offsetting account is just the account which will be posted on the opposite side. If you're talking about debit, offsetting will become credit. If you're talking about credit, offsetting will become debit. This confusion state you have to come out as soon as possible. Okay. Now let me go up and let me go to this posting screen. Here, if I want to clear this 100, posting key I need to put 50 or 40.
50.
I need to put 50. If I put 50 posting key, should I use the outstanding wages account or any other account?
Any other.
Any other account I need to use. I am not supposed to use outstanding wages because outstanding wages I am supposed to clear. Any account that you are trying to clear, any account that you are supposed to clear, you will not be using any posting key for that account. It will be taken automatically. You will be telling the system posting key only for the offsetting account. In short, if you are using posting key 50 for, let's say, other account, to complete the entry, if the posting key is 50, which posting key is missing? Debit.
40.
40.
40 is nothing but debit is missing. Debit will go to which account?
Debit is missing.
Offsetting.
Debit will go to which account? Outstanding
Offsetting.
wages.
Outstanding wages.
Now the same account is credited or debited. According to this, outstanding wages in the clearing entry will be debited or credited.
Ajay, outstanding wages.
Debit or credit? It will be
Here it
debited.
will come debit.
Why debit?
We
Your
review
liability
offsetting entries.
We
adjusted.
are going to clear the wages account.
Liability.
Right. Because you want to clear it. To clear the credit, you need a debit. Correct? To clear the credit, you need a debit. Now, when you're talking about clearing entry, you're talking about making it a zero. If I want to make this minus 100 0, I need a plus 100.
Yes.
Right? When you're talking about clearing, you're talking about making it a zero. To make it zero, you should always look at what is the current number, whether it is a positive number or a negative number. Currently, if you have a positive number, to make it zero, you need to put a negative number.
Negative number.
On the other side, if your current number is negative, you need to put a positive number. Negative number is a credit number, positive number is a debit number. Clear? In your entire SAP, debit means positive number, credit means negative number. Clear or confused
Yes.
with this positive number, negative number, debit number, credit number?
Clear Ajay.
Right? Your original entry will become the opposite or ulta or reverse in the clearing entry. Now, according to this statement, original entry will become ulta or opposite reverse in BRS entry or in clearing entry. If you look at this, whenever you pass BRS entry is always posted within the bank accounts. BRS entry is always posted within the bank account. Now, if you look at the original entry for bank incoming account, bank check incoming, where is the bank account in this? On the debit side or on the credit side?
Debit side.
Debit side. Now, if you're talking about BRS, you're talking about clearing interest. Bank check incoming, is this a clearing account? Is this an open item management account or a non-open item management account?
Open item management account. It is.
Open item management account. In this open item management, which is your bank incoming account, we already have a direct entry, debit credit, where we have manually given.
Yes, sir.
Right? The first entry, direct entry, is already posted as original entry. Next one will be your clearing entry. When you pass the clearing entry, you should always look at the same account. In short, now you focus on this account. Here you're talking about bank check incoming. Here also you're talking about bank check incoming.
Yes, sir.
You're talking about BRS for check incomings or incoming checks clearing. If I want to perform the BRS for incoming check clearing, first I need to look at what is the original entry in this GL account. What is the original entry in bank check incoming? Now look at only this account. Where is this bank check incoming in the original entry? It is on the debit side or it is on the
Debit
credit
side.
side?
Debit side.
It is on the debit side. Now when you do a BRS, you are clearing the sub account, you are posting to the main account. In BRS, you are clearing sub account, you are posting to main account. If I want to clear my sub account, I need to credit my sub account or debit my sub account.
Credit to sub account and main account it should be debit.
First, I need to credit bank
Then
check incoming. Now, whatever the confusion that you are getting, you have to get this confusion at the beginning. Later on, this confusion will have to become a clarity. You should have that clear understanding, a clear clarity by crossing this confusion state. If you are not confused here, you will be confused tomorrow in your interview. You will be confused tomorrow in your project. So there you are not supposed to get confused. Get all your confusions here only, so that it is possible for you to clear your confusions here, right? So what you have done, you have a debit here, you have a debit here. Let me put this, let's say in this color. Now the same thing, you have a credit here, correct? If you look at bank check incoming, in the original entry it is debit, in the BRS entry it is credit. Now debit credit, will it become zero or it will result any amount? If you sum debit credit, will this be zero or it will result any amount?
It will become zero.
This will be 0.
It will be zero, right? Now always remember, your BRS entry is always in main account. Either debit side or the credit side is always bank main account in your BRS entry. It is not called as BRS entry if there is no bank main account. If I am not using bank main account, I don't call it as BRS entry. Now to call it as BRS entry, which account is mandatory?
Main bank.
Bank main account is mandatory. I'll put bank main. Bank main account debit, bank check incoming account credit. In short, to make it more simple, when you pass BRS entry, your debit or your credit, either of this debit or credit, is always bank main account. So you should only think about one side, because one side is fixed. There is no point that you change one position of the accounting entry. Either debit position or the credit position is always allotted, is always reserved for bank main account. You have only one open slot, either debit or the credit. This open slot is always used for bank sub account. If you know the main entry, you look at where is your bank sub account. If your sub account is on the debit side in the original entry, this bank sub account will go to credit side in the BRS entry. It is always ulta, reverse. Clear? Now, if you go to the second one, where is your sub account?
It is in credit side.
Sub account is in the credit side. If your sub account is on the credit side in the original entry, in BRS entry, sub account will go to which side?
Debit side it will go.
Debit side. It will always go to the opposite side, other side.
Opposite side. Okay.
Let me write debit here. Let me write credit here. Bank check outgoing. Blindly you take this. Sorry. This is on the credit side. I'll take it on the debit side. Correct?
Debit side. Debit
Am I
side.
correct?
Yes, sir.
Now I'm not thinking from any accounting point of view. I'm blindly putting the interest. My bank account on the original entry is on the credit side. The same account as it is, blindly I'll put it on the other side, which is debit. I know that in my BRS, one side is always reserved for bank main.
Done.
Now you are not supposed to go based on the bank main account, because your bank main account can go to debit side, it can go to credit side, depending on the original entry. You cannot decide I'll put bank main account on the debit side or on the credit side. Your bank main account is always the missing side, missing entry, because you are performing a BRS based on the original entry. In this original entry, if bank account is on the debit side, the same bank account will go on the credit side. Missing side will be your main account. Similarly, in this side, your bank account is on the credit side. On BRS, you put the same bank account on the debit side. The missing side you are using for bank main account. Correct?
Yes.
Now for this one,
Sir, when they will put,
bank transfer. Sorry,
when they will put in main bank account, like a month end.
you can perform a BRS at any given point of time. You can do BRS on a daily basis, you can do BRS on weekly basis, you can do BRS on monthly basis, depending on the number of transactions, depending on your transaction volume. You will decide at what interval you have to perform BRS. Most likely this
Okay,
will be a weekly activity, but you must complete this by month end.
okay,
During the month, based on the availability, based on the transactions, it is up to you, but you must complete this by month end. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. Now next one is your bank check outgoing. This we have done. Next, bank transfer incoming. Let's put this bank transfer incoming. In this also same. Where is your bank transfer? It is on the debit side. If it is on the debit side, when you put the accounting entry,
It
debit
should be
credit,
credit side.
bank transfer incoming should be on the credit side. These are direct entries which you can by heart, but in your interview they are going to ask you why debit, why credit. Nobody is okay with your debit credit answer. Everybody knows you would have by hearted this. But I want you to explain me why you are writing this accounting entry. What is making you to decide this will be debit, this will be credit? You need to give your explanation. For that, you have to talk about all these points. Your accounting principle, whatever you add, will add more weightage to your explanation. Now, here bank transfer incoming will be credit, debit will be as usual bank main, correct? Last one, bank transfer outgoing. In this, what will be the accounting entry? Debit. Where is your bank
Credit.
account? It is on the credit side.
Bank account on credit side. It has to go for debit side.
It will go to the debit side here.
Debit side.
Now credit will
Then
be
bank main account.
bank main account will be credit. These are your original entries and BRS entries. Any doubts in these entries, these 4 entries?
Sir, we need to explain both original entry and also BRS entry in interview.
Yes, you need to mention both.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now this one, what is this entry? This is a clearing entry, correct?
Clearing it. Yes.
Bank check incoming is a clearing entry. Let me tell here. This is your clearing entry. Same thing is here, clearing entry. This is also clearing entry. This is also clearing entry. In short, you have got 4 clearing entries.
Yes.
For check incoming, check outgoing, transfer
Outgoing.
incoming,
Transfer
transfer
incoming.
outgoing, we have
Transfer
written
outgoing.
clearing entries. Why we have written as clearing entries? Because if you see this, check incoming is balance sheet, asset, open item management, for which you will be passing direct entry as original transaction, clearing entry as BRS transaction, correct?
Yes.
Similarly, for check outgoing, this is also balance sheet, asset, open item management account, for which you will be passing original entry as direct entry, BRS entry as clearing entry. Same is applicable for these 4.
Yes.
right? Now bank main account is non-open item management account. That is why your bank main account is either appears on the debit side or on the credit side, but not on the both. It will never come on to this. If your bank main account is coming on the original entry, there is no BRS entry. Your bank main account will come either on the original entry or on the BRS entry, only one side. It cannot be two sides. Bank main account should always appear on one side, either on the original entry side or on the BRS entry side, but cannot be on the both. Whereas your bank sub account will appear on both the sides, original
Both sides.
entry plus
As well
BRS
as
entry.
BRS.
At these two sides, it will appear on the opposite sides. If it is on the debit side in the original, it will be credit side on the BRS, and the vice versa. Agree?
Yes.
Now after this, you have bank expenses and bank incomes. Let me put bank expenses. For bank expenses, what will be the accounting entry? Now, when do you know the bank expense? You know the bank expense after receiving the statement or before receiving the statement? Your bank actual expenses, when do you come to know? After looking at the statement or before looking at the statement?
After
After
looking the
looking
bank
at the
statement.
After statement, sir.
Right? You will come to know the bank expenses after looking at the statement. Any transaction that you know after looking at the statement is always called as bank statement entry. In short, for bank expenses, there is no entry. For bank expenses, there is no entry or there is no original entry. For bank expenses, there will be only BRS entry. Anything that you are passing in the BRS entry will be directly posted to the bank main account. We already understood BRS entry, one side is reserved for bank main account. Now you are talking about bank expense. Bank expense is what is the nature? Asset, liability, income, expense?
expenses.
Expenses.
Expense. According to expense, which is your nominal account, expenses are debit or credit?
Debit. Bank expenses to
Debit.
main bank.
Right. Here I'll put debit bank expenses. Your bank expense can be anything: bank charges, OD charges, DD charges, interest paid, late payment, anything. Any expense that you are receiving from the bank statement, that respective expense account will be debited. And credit will go to which account?
Main
Bank
bank.
main account. Right? Now, what is this entry called? Is this a clearing entry or a direct entry?
Direct entry.
Clearing.
Direct entry.
Clearing entry when you have original entry. If you see here, you have original entry, you have BRS entry. If you have two postings, then you have clearing entry. If you have a single posting, that is direct entry. Correct? Next one, bank incomes. Let me put bank income. For bank income also, when you will come to know the bank income? After receiving the statement or before receiving the statement? Whatever the amount credited in your account as income or any other commissions received, when you will come to know?
After
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 receiving.
looking
statement.
at the statement? After the statement. Any transaction that you know after looking at the statement is a direct BRS posting. For direct BRS postings, there is no original entry. It is only a direct entry. When you receive any income, according to nominal account, your income received is debit or credit.
Credit. Here bank main account
Credit.
attached to bank income.
Right. You will put debit and you will put credit. Credit is your bank income. It can be any income based on the nature of income. If it is interest received, you will put interest received account. If it is commission received, commission received. Likewise, any account which is received towards income. And the other side will be, as usual, bank main. What is this entry? Clearing entry or direct entry?
Direct entry.
This is also direct entry. In short, these are your BRS accounting entries that will be posted. Any doubt in this accounting entries?
Yes.
Now you have to read through this accounting entries. Make sure you understand the accounting entries. No surprise, you may get a question, why this account is debit, why this account is credit. They will expect you to talk about according to real account debit what comes in, we are debiting this. According to personal account, credit the receiver, we are crediting this account. They literally want you to explain these points. Don't think that these are not the questions to be asked to a consultant. In fact, these are the questions people will ask you to a consultant in your interviews. If you are not able to answer these questions upfront, you will be rejected. They are okay if you are unable to explain the configurations, but nobody is okay if you are unable to explain the basic accounting. Because I can teach you the configuration, but I cannot teach you the accounting, why debit, why credit. Reason, tomorrow as a consultant, you have to sit, you have to discuss, you have to gather the requirement, you have to resolve the problems, everything. To do all these things, if I do not know why debit, why credit, on what basis, will I be able to support, will I be able to interact, communicate with the users, clients?
Yes.
If I have no clarity, can I do it?
Yes.
No, right? I cannot do it. To do the configuration, I'll be doing it offline. How I am doing the configuration, nobody sees. But when you have to face your client, when you have to discuss with your user, no other option. You must know these points. These terminologies will be used by your client's users, and your client will simply tell you, no, 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 we will pass the standard basic accounting entries that are used in accounting. We put the main account debit, we put the sub accounts credit in the check payment or in the receipt. We will do like this. They'll tell you at high level. You cannot ask them, please give me an Excel sheet, write, give a printout or scan it to me, put it in the Excel sheet. You cannot say that. They will simply tell, no, no, the standard basic accounting entries we will pass.
Sir, one
When
doubt.
you are at, go ahead.
Sir, suppose I am explaining one question, sir, it is correct or not. It tell me, sir. Suppose I am receiving check from the customer. In the original entry, bank check-in account data to customer. So this time, in the clearing time, you are mentioning the bank main account data to bank check-in account, incoming account. That is the reason here your check is cleared. That is the reason your bank balance will be increased. And then now
Correct.
you are receiving the check from the customer. Here just you are passing the one entry in our company books. Yes, sir.
Yes,
In the company books, in the based on the BRS, that check is clear. So your main account will be increased.
you're right.
Yes. Okay, sir, I understood.
We are doing that because previously we understood that your bank statement in the financials must agree with the balance sheet. Whatever the things that you are doing in balance sheet, it has to have a supporting bank statement.
Yes, sir.
So to meet this requirement, whatever the bank account balance I am showing in the balance sheet, this must have a supporting. This supporting is always your bank statement. In order to achieve that, no other option, we have to show the actual bank balance in the bank main account. Bank main account I will be posting only when I see the original statement. By looking at the statement, whatever the transactions that I did during this month, if any of it is appearing on the bank statement, I will move it from sub account to main account. If any transaction which I have initiated but it is not part of the statement, I will not move it to main account, I will keep it on the sub account. Any transaction which is sitting on your bank sub account is represented as unreconciled transactions. Correct?
Yes.
At the end of BRS, whatever is sitting on your bank incoming account or bank outgoing account, in short bank sub account, this is sub account, we also call it as waiting account. Some call it as sub account, some call it as waiting account. If somebody is asking you in your interview what is waiting account or what is your control account, your control accounts or your waiting accounts or your sub accounts are the same. People use it with different terminologies. You should not get confused. Sub account, waiting account, your control account are used for the same purpose. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to go through these accounting entries, make sure you understand the accounting entries and you are in a position to explain these accounting entries. Point number one, make sure you are clear with these accounting entries. That is your first point. Once you are clear with the accounting entries, point number two, make sure you have nothing in front of you, just close your eyes. Make sure you are able to explain these accounting entries to the other person. If you have system in front of you, if you have notebook material in front of you, just close your eyes so that you cannot see anything. Make sure you are able to explain these accounting entries to the other person without any confusion. If somebody is asking you why debit, why credit, make sure you are able to answer. Am I clear?
Yes. Sir, end of the month, main bank and bank statement should match, right?
Right. Any question on this accounting entries? If no, let me stop this recording.